American business cozying up to India. Any moment now, President Biden will hold a news conference with India Prime Minister Modi as our country's biggest CEOs make their pitch. And Brian, we wonder if India is sort of the better choice than China.
Well, let's talk about that. Tennessee Senator Marsha Blackburn is joining us now. Senator, good to see you. This is an interesting meeting as we talk about decoupling with China. At least in the short term, you got to find some other partner to go to. What do you think about India?
We would hope that India would stand up and support democracies and choose their partnership thus. We are concerned about their close ties with Russia, the way they're buying fuel from Russia. These are things that are moving to the forefront as India comes here. And we hope that they're coming to try to establish more partnerships and to participate in friendshoring, that they're willing to give up some of those China-Russia ties, and that they want to make U.S. companies their preferred partner and the U.S. government their preferred partner.
Senator, sort of on that line, as it goes to China at least, TikTok finally confirming that it is storing U.S. data in China for some of the U.S. creators, they're saying. At what point do you think that we'll be able to hold TikTok and China accountable?
My hope is that we are moving more quickly to that. There is bipartisan support. Senator Blumenthal and I have led much of this work. And for TikTok now to reveal to us that, yes, they do have that creator data that is stored in China. It is not in Singapore. It is not in the U.S. And also, they have limited circumstances, as they say, where they can take regular users' data and also take that to China. Now, the importance of this is anybody who has a child that does funny videos and posts them to TikTok, they are a TikTok creator. This is not just the people that are TikTok influencers that have signed promotional contracts with TikTok. So we're continuing to work on this issue. We continue to be really concerned about the surveillance mechanisms that the Chinese Communist Party is putting in place, whether it is TikTok, whether it is Huawei and ZTE equipment. We're continuing to look at the Belt and Road Initiative that they're exercising and how they're trying to place their Huawei and ZTE equipment in other countries, whether it is Djibouti or Ukraine. We're very concerned about that.
Senator Blackburn, speaking of those relationships, the Wall Street Journal writing that American companies are being held hostage by the whims of TikTok. That's partially true. Some are playing ball because they realize that it's just not profitable for them if they don't, because of the influence that the app has and people who are on it. Senator, what's your message for American companies that are basically doing business on this Chinese app?
Yes, I read that story from the Journal this morning and thought it was very interesting. My hope would be that our American companies that are creative, they're entrepreneurial, they are bringing forward great ideas, they have some of the best innovators on the face of the earth, that they will trust themselves and their innovators and their market research and not yank themselves around every time there is a fad that comes out on TikTok.
Senator, we're waiting for President Biden and Indian Prime Minister Modi to make remarks at the White House. We're going to bring those to you when they happen. But I just want to drill in on this a little bit more because we've had a lot of conversations about supply chains in China, not just with products, but with medicines, you name it. And the question always seems to be, yeah, well, it'd be nice to move away from China, but you can't do it. It's not possible. It's not practical. This would seem to be a moment, Senator, where we could make some real progress with a growing economy like India. But you're right. Corruption is a problem there. Democratic concerns, in terms of voting, integrity of government. What can you be doing and your colleagues in Congress to help make this a path that is reasonable and realistic for the U.S. as we think about de-risking and decoupling?
Yes, and Brian, this is where U.S. companies, multinational companies, are going to have to work with us as we talk about reshoring, friendshoring, as we talk about replacing some components in this supply chain. And as we look for new locations, as these companies are looking for new locations for doing business, let's make choices where we're going to be able to have some diversification in the supply chain. We do not want to have everything. Take chips, for instance, take active pharmaceutical ingredients, telecommunications equipment. This is why, first of all, let me say we have to make certain that Taiwan doesn't get overrun by China, because they are our largest provider of chips. But also, as companies start new manufacturing facilities, investing in somewhere like India, like an ally, or bringing it back domestically. Now, another thing that we can do to help this reshoring effort is aggressively look at regulations that are here. EPA and OSHA regulations that make it very difficult for manufacturers, US-based companies, to manufacture here in the USA. We should be diligent in that. We see what has happened to the supply chain when China feels like they possess the ability to choke the supply chain.
Yeah.
And you see what happens with EVs, with auto parts, with all of our medicines. This is what happens when you give one country too much control over generating that supply chain, over the ingredients that go into that supply chain. So wisdom would be a good thing here. I hope that our trade rep, that this White House, that this administration is going to say, we would like to do business with India. We had a $1 trillion trade deficit last year. Let's make certain we move some of that out of China. That was $1 trillion with China. Wouldn't India want some of that business?
It's a great point, Senator Blackburn. Critics of the president saying, though, that this conversation is coming late in the game because the COVID-19 pandemic really highlighted what these problems were almost 3 years ago. Senator Blackburn, great to see you. Thank you.
Good to see you.